All right, guys, out here in beautiful Colorado, just putting in all of the altitude work before I go to Across the Years next weekend. If you haven't heard about my journey at Across the Years, going to be going down the 24-hour starting on December 29th, doing a fundraiser for the high school team that I coach. More details about that below. But instead of just giving you all a vlog of a bunch of easy runs I've been doing to build up my base and get ready for Across the Years and ultimately Boston, figured I would share with you guys some of my favorite books, podcasts, and YouTube content from 2019 so that hopefully I turn you on to something new and you can enjoy it, or you can also talk about how great it is and share it this holiday season. Use some of those gift cards on some of these things maybe. So let me finish up this run and give you the details right after this. Now that we're at the end of 2019, I want to share with you guys some of my favorite content from this past year. It brought me a lot of value, took up a lot of my time as I was learning or otherwise just procrastinating, and hopefully it'll bring you guys some value in 2020. First and foremost, I want to share some of my favorite podcast channels from 2019. I have to give a special shout out to my guys at the Negative Splits. Not only have I been a multiple time guest, but I actually got to guest host this past year with Chris Brown, Eric Sinsman, and Patrick Regan. So thanks for that opportunity. Thanks for always taking care of me. So make sure you guys check out the Negative Splits. But my top four, other than my homies in Buffalo, Mind Pump. So this isn't really a running specific channel at all. It's really focused on fitness, but also having a lot of meaningful discussion that will explore anything from social norms to politics to leadership development. There's a whole lot that they're putting out. They're doing 4 or 5 episodes a week, plus an opportunity for you to send in questions and have them answer it. So if you're focused on strength and conditioning or personal training, developing your business, or just want to hear some really thought-provoking conversation, Mind Pump is for you. Secondly, thinking about development and the fact that I myself am a coach, I love listening to On Coaching with Magnus and Marcus. You have Steve Magnus and Jonathan Marcus, both from High Performance West. Magnus is actually also at the University of Houston, and they're always delving into really deep topics related to running, coaching, development, and their main goal is to make sure that you are challenging your preconceived notions. So sometimes they're going to play devil's advocate. They're going to do everything from talking about if periodization is really the proper model for you getting ready for any distance up to a marathon, or they're going to talk about vapor flies and if they actually do have a meaningful impact on performance. So if you're looking for some thought-provoking running specific content or coaching content, On Coaching with Magnus and Marcus is for you. Third, and I'm sure this is already on your podcast queue if you're an ultra runner, or you might just be getting the newsletter and haven't made the dive into the podcast yet, but the Morning Shakeout with Mario Fraioli is top notch. Some very in-depth interviews spanning a whole range of personalities, a whole range of experience, and really going to dive into some of the most meaningful, meaty topics of running today. So the Morning Shakeout, if you haven't checked it out, make sure you add that to your podcast player of choice in 2020. And last but not least, in terms of my favorite podcast of 2019, the Sidious Mag podcast. It is put out by Chris Chavez and the entire team at Sidious Mag, which is a pretty small operation, but they get some of the most wild interviews, panels, conversations that you would not normally walk into if you just hopped up and listened to any other running podcast. They also do some live recordings. So if you were at the New York City Marathon, for instance, you had the opportunity to see a Sidious Mag podcast get recorded live. It's not the most clean and refined podcast, but it's that grittiness that actually makes it feel very conversational. So the Sidious Mag podcast, check it out in 2020. Next up, we have to talk about books. So those of you guys who like your thoughts in more long form, here are my 4 top books that I read this past year that I think will also bring you guys some value. Pretty sure if you're a fan of this channel, you already know about it. The Happy Runner from Megan and David Roche. it's the exact same energy that you experience from them, either in their blog posts, in their Instagram and social media posts, or what you read in magazines. It's all in one place, that high, vibrant spirit, but also the exact sort of thing you need to get you out the door. So if you haven't already, make sure you check out The Happy Runner. Next up, another book that came out this past year, Inside a Marathon, with Ben Rosario and Scott Fauble of the Northern Arizona Elite Team. It follows Scott's journey to the New York City Marathon in 2018. So if you have not already checked that out, I'm sure you've heard about Scott and his run, not only at New York, but also Boston this year. It is a phenomenal insight, not just because it shows you exactly what sort of workouts he was running, but because it has commentary from both the athlete and the coach. Really goes into the mindset of what each of them were thinking, shows you both the ups and the downs that go into what many of us experience when they're going through a training cycle for a big race. So worth the read. Also great photography inside, so makes a great coffee table book for you and yours. So my third book of 2019 is actually an oldie but a goodie. It's Anatomy for Runners by Jay Deshary, I think is how you pronounce it. He's actually had more recent books that come out looking at running form and gait and making sure that you're moving through the proper and best movement patterns for you. But whether you're an athlete trying to train yourself or you're a coach, it really gets you thinking about the sort of idiosyncrasies that we tend to adopt over time, and really tries to help you find and correct those imbalances. So Anatomy for Runners, top-notch book of 2019. All right, my final book pick of 2019 is another oldie but a goodie, and it's a bit science heavy, which you would gather from the title, The Science of Running by Steve Magness. That's right, Magness with a second appearance on this list. But if you're really trying to challenge what you know about running and running development, training plans, and getting ready for your next event, The Science of Running is a phenomenal deep dive to get you to really explore all ends of the spectrum, whether you're training for an 800-meter race all the way through a marathon and beyond. The book really walks through not only the different energy systems that we tend to think about when we're running and those types of zones that you might see in other training plans, but it also gets you to think about speed reserve and making sure that you are actually your strongest self across all types of speed. Even if you're a marathon runner strictly or an ultramarathon runner strictly, really gets you to think about what it would be like to do hill sprints and really do those short, powerful bursts, and really gets that to translate across many different event spectrums. So if you're a student of the sport or just want to take your running to the next level, The Science of Running, great opportunity for you to nerd out. Steve Magness, check it out. All right, I want to share some of my favorite YouTube content from 2019. Some of these are old hands, very experienced in the game, but some of these might be new to you. So definitely want to share their information with you guys, because in addition to Mountain Outpost and Run Steep Get High and Aravaipa, I personally watch all these channels on a regular basis, and definitely want to give them some kudos for what they've done to entertain and inspire me throughout this past year. From the Grizzled Veterans division, I have to show love to both Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, week after week, just churning out some of the best interviews, some of the best gear reviews. Just how the man does it on a regular basis, I will never understand. But also is one of the nicest guys. Started his own race this year for the first time. Did his first ever 100-mile training week. Ethan is the man. So the Ginger Runner, if you are somehow watching this and haven't watched that, I don't know how you found us, so thanks. But also, get the hell on over there to the Ginger Runner. Ethan and Kim, keep crushing it. All the best in 2020. My other grizzled vet, you know him, you love him, Billy Yang. Some of the best long-form content, has some of the, like everything from his documentaries to his travel experiences is just mind-blowing. And also one of just the greatest, most hardworking individuals in the game. So Billy Yang, and this is actually kind of cheating as well, between the YouTube stuff and the BYP podcast, the guy is everywhere, and he's everything to the community. So make sure you support Billy as much as you can as well. On the other end of the spectrum is our Young Buck division. these 20-somethings that remind us what it used to be to have that much energy and just so much joy and passion before, the rest of the world beat us down or our bodies broke down. Thanks, 2019. So, first up, the athlete special. Spencer Brown out at Georgetown. He's a student athlete there, and if you know anything about the NCAA, you know that he's not making money off this channel, but he is churning out videos regularly, and they are very college. All right, they show you a lot of the workouts and the runs that he's been doing, either in summer training, throughout cross country and track season, and just some of the perks of what it's like being a Division I athlete. Spencer, you're doing great stuff out there. The athlete special, make sure you give him a follow, especially because this is his senior year. So after this, he's gonna be joining us in these grown-up adult ranks, and he's gonna be putting in some work. So the athlete special, check it out. In the same division, I gotta put Zach Levitt. The man left Division I and hopped in a van, started doing the whole van life thing, and has really gone all in on just showing you everything it takes to try to make it as a road runner. He just did CIM, was aiming for that Olympic trials qualifier, just missed it, but you got to see a lot of the specific workouts he was doing, but also just what life is like to be 19 and 20, venturing out on your own and just like exploring what the world has for you. He's gonna be doing some great travel in 2020, so if you want some running mixed with just great experience, especially internationally, make sure you give Zach Levitt a follow. Third, I'd be remiss if I didn't give this special person some shine, the former Olympian and Run Gum CEO and now multi-time world record holder apparently, Nick Symmonds. This dude is just challenging everybody to race for $100, but also doing some other cool things, traveling around, sharing in Q&As, his journey from high school prolific athlete through Division III and then ultimately in the pros. So if you're looking for some well-produced short clips that'll at least keep you occupied and entertained and educate you at the same time, Nick Symmonds, definitely a channel you should check out. And lastly, YouTube content 2019 top pick from yours truly, Team Richie. Now, you wouldn't normally expect me to come up with a CrossFit channel here, but if you want to see how elite athletes really grind on a regular basis, then this channel has it for you, all right? Personally, I'm a fan of athletics across the board. If you are on your grind in running and cycling and triathlon and CrossFit, and I get to take a peek into what makes you tick, then I want to be around it. So Team Richie does that to a whole new level, traveling around the world to different CrossFit championships, and also just being a fan of the sport and going through it himself. You get to see his journey and some of the things that come along with his personal training. So Team Richie, if you're looking to expand your portfolio, definitely worthwhile channel to check out in 2020. I found a lot of value from these picks that I'm sharing with you guys, both as an athlete myself, but also as a coach. I have to deal with problems and questions that I personally would not ever think about because of the wonderful opportunity I have to coach high schoolers day in and day out. And you can actually help my high school team out if you hit the link below in the description. I'm doing a fundraiser for my high school program at Across the Years this year. That's right, yours truly, going back to finish the task of last year, going for 24 hours starting on December 29th. And there are two ways you can actually really help out my program, be able to get to some invitationals and also just buy some essential equipment to make sure that we can compete at meets and also train to be our best selves. So first, you can do a flat donation. Second, you can do a per lap run-a-thon style donation. So if you want to see me pain-faced around Across the Years for miles on miles, that's the option for you. Whatever you guys can do, greatly appreciated. All the details are in the link below. All right, guys, that's what brought me in value in 2019, but would love to hear from you guys what brought you some value, what informed you, what made you think, what just kept you entertained while you're on the treadmill killing miles. So let me know in the comments below. Would love to hear from you guys so that I can continue to broaden my horizons and really expand my knowledge base in 2020. Thanks for a great 2019. It's been a phenomenal year. I'm looking forward to a big 2020. If you're at Across the Years, come by and say what's up. Otherwise, I'll see you guys after the big dance when we get loopy. Have a great season, guys.